Hello friends, I'm back from my winter hiatus with a full slate of new Pacific Rail features. While continuing the Albany series and soon introducing new ones, let's have a look at the Albany and Eastern. We went west from Albany on the Toledo branch, now let's look east. Here in Lebanon, you'll find the headquarters and main shops for one of the nation's most unique short lines. The A&E celebrates its heritage and purpose while keeping connections to the public alive with passenger specials every week and providing excellent service for its online shippers. This short line strives to continually improve its infrastructure. It all starts here at the shops and offices located at the site of what used to be a paper mill on the north end of town. The short branch and spurs that once led to the mill were repurposed to serve as home base for the A&E, where locomotives and some equipment are stored, including passenger cars and a caboose. It's July 2023, and today something that hasn't happened in 70 years will take place. The Mill City Freight Local will be powered by a steam locomotive. The 5957 is coupled up to engine 205, a 262 Prairie-style locomotive built by Baldwin Locomotive Works in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania built this locomotive in 1924, which as of the time of this video means it's 100 years old. 205 began its career working for the San Joaquin and Eastern Railroad in California until the line's demise in 1933. Perhaps the acronym it earned as the slow, jerky, and expensive explains why. You will see the locomotive is lettered for the Santa Maria Valley Railroad, which is the second owner that it had, where it worked until it was retired in 1950. After the oil-burning engine's fire was put out in 1950, it was put on display in its namesake town. And there it languished until 1983, when it was purchased and moved to Oregon to Independence, purchased by George Lavicott and brought back to life over a 38-year period of restoration. Finally, in 2021, the fully restored locomotive was sold to the Albany and Eastern, where it has been brought back to its original glory, working now not only to haul passengers, but today to earn revenue dollars in freight operations as well. The consist is rolling down West Olive Street past residences on its way to connect to the main line near 5th Street. Also, we will follow the 2501 on several other trips through different seasons and weather, as it is the standard assigned locomotive on the Mill City branch. The job runs as a single-man crew. The engineer will convert the locomotive to remote control operation while performing any tasks requiring switching from the ground. Nearby you can hear the 5957 taking its train out of town towards Albany for the interchange. Albany and Eastern 2501 is an EMD GP35. It was built for the Southern Pacific in 1963. Its number 2501 is almost assuredly given to it because of the horsepower rating it has of 2,500. We're at Hansard Avenue Crossing, where several sidings and industrial spurs make up the main operational focus of the A&E. The 2501 will switch a siding and pick up a box cart destined for a lumber mill near the end of the line. The major customer here is Intech, an industry-leading lead-acid and lithium-ion battery separator development company. Many hoppers and tanks are received with chemicals and plastics for Intech. We're at the junction where the Olive Street Spur once served the paper mill. Now let's catch up with the steam locomotive performing a similar switching operation, getting its train ready for Mill City. Long gone are the days of hauling little wooden 30-foot boxcars and cabooses, which would be dwarfed by these modern 60-foot high-capacity boxes currently being coupled to. Because the American standard gauge of track has been the same for over 150 years, we can see this fascinating study of old versus new technology working together, even in the year 2023. On the eastern border of Lebanon is the Santiam River, which is crossed by this 1910-built steel truss bridge. Water levels are high from the melting snow at Santiam Pass in the Cascade Mountains. In this video, we'll enjoy views of the line in every season with the different colors and climates they each bring. Gill's Landing and RV Park affords great views and access to the combination wooden trestle and steel bridge built for SP. In the days before Albany and Eastern Control, Burlington Northern shared the tracks with Southern Pacific up until Sweet Home Junction, less than a half a mile west of here. The train has just entered exclusive Mill City branch trackage, which will go about 37 more miles. Let's jump from early spring to midsummer, and from diesel back to steam. This is about as short as a train can possibly be, but it will grow a little soon as more cars wait to be picked up at Griggs directly ahead. Only 2 regular customers remain shipping on the line, both of them outside of Mill City, Frere's Lumber and Frank Lumber. One sporadic customer ships from Fox Valley, but all three ship forest products using center beams and high-cube boxcars. This view here illustrating the smooth continuous welded rail, or CWR, is an example of the commitment A&E has to invest in their track work to provide dependable service and attract new business. We're now at Griggs. Once a busy log dump, it was the terminus for many log trains in the SP days. It's now the longest siding on the Mill City branch, where cars can be set out for storage. Our box hop is arriving to pick up a handful of cars for Mill City. The station of Crabtree was more recently a location for loading log trains up until a couple of years ago. There was a short siding here where several trains a week were loaded for shipment to the Columbia River. The Crabtree logger harkened back to the Southern Pacific days when they had the Snow Peak logger trains that went to Griggs. Sadly, it is unlikely that we'll see these trains again. At Gilkey, A beautiful covered bridge crosses Thomas Creek as it meanders westward, where it will eventually spill into the Santiam River. The postcard scene is only made better by the parallel tracks nearby. The first half of the branch is where most of the track rehabilitation projects have been completed. Train speeds remain at 10 miles per hour for the remaining half. A warm summer breeze rustles the leaves at Shelburne as the Santa Maria Valley number 205 approaches what used to be an at-grade crossing. In fact, our journey on the Toledo branch would have taken us right here up until 1930 when the Corvallis and Easter line from Yaquina crossed right here at grade on its aspiring route to be a transcontinental line crossing Santiam Pass. A high-railing fire patrol follows close behind on this hot day. This location holds some historical significance, as technically, in the SP days, this was where the Mill City branch began. It connected to the east side line here, which ran north and south, connecting Springfield with Woodburn. There wasn't much use for a secondary main line, so in 1963, the tracks were removed between Shelburne and West Staten, leaving only the remaining branch to Mill City. The tracks follow through the beautiful wilderness of the Santiam River Canyon. We'll skip ahead and see the train switching the mills in Mill City. The engine on this fall day has spent the night here outside Frere's Lumber Mill. The engineer has just arrived, starting up the 2501 and setting it up for remote control operation. The train arrived days prior, bringing empties to the mills, and being that traffic is slow, the locomotive stayed here until the empties were loaded. After collecting 6 loaded boxcars, the train will continue to the end of the line at Frank Lumber. This railroad, which once continued further, aspiring to cross the entire state, now ends shortly after this bridge. Along the abandoned grade in Mill City proper can be found this through truss bridge. Southern Pacific transplanted the bridge here in 1919 from San Jose, California. A siding for running around the cars and a spur for loading center beams brings up the end of the line here at Frank Lumber. Today, Frank Lumber has loaded 2 center beams ready to pull. Sometimes only one mill or the other will have cars to pull. We can see on this wet winter's day only 4 loads from Furr's Lumber make up the train. With 8 heavy loads in tow, dynamic brakes can be heard guiding the train down the hill leaving Mill City. At Lyons, some center beams for Frank Lumber sit waiting for their turn to be loaded. This short wooden trestle is at Kingston. With the leaves leaving the trees, it's easier to see the water tower here at Shelburne. At Crabtree, we can see the conductor lining out the 205 from a runaround of a special move they made for the 100th anniversary of the Santa Maria Valley. I will be making a separate video of this beautiful train and a special run it made on this incredibly cooperative February day. We'll get one more look for now at the 205 as it leads a colorful passenger set back to Lebanon. It's the close of the day, and we're back in Lebanon with our final checks and final chores before calling it a night. These cars will be set out in the yard here at Lebanon for tomorrow's interchange job that will forward the cars to Union Pacific at Albany. Then the 2501 will use this spur to get back to the A&E shops and tie up for the day. In order to better protect the shove, the engineer is running the locomotive by remote so he can ride the point. And this is Jeremy at PRP, hoping you enjoyed the ride. We'll see you again real soon. We got a lot coming down the line. We'll see you later, friends.